All right, so I hope I've been a good warm-up band. Our next speaker is amazing. I hope that in her words you see a part of yourself and imagine the life that she has led and hear some echoes in your own. Muir's tradition is to have, as our commencement speaker, a member of the graduating senior class. This is someone selected by a committee of students and staff, and we're so proud to have as this year's speakers, Liliane von Ruexleben. Liliane grew up in Munich, Germany, and came to the US in 1997. She has 2 adult sons. She's graduating from John Muir College with you, class of 2018, with a major in communications and a minor in business, and she now has her own business and works as a consultant in digital marketing. Please join me in welcoming Liliane von Ruexleben.
Hello, Muir College. Let me find my notes first. What an honor to be here. November 9th, 1989. Ring a bell? It was the fall of the Berlin Wall. I was there, not in Berlin, but in Munich, sitting on my couch in front of the TV, watching in awe how decades of a divided Germany, my home country, were coming to an end. I'd been to the East German border once during a middle school field trip, and I will never forget the impression it made on me. The 12-foot-high fences, the fortified watchtowers, the floodlights, the guard dogs, not to mention the East German military armed to their teeth. On November 9th, 1989, this division was coming to an end. Yet as I stand before you now, we are talking about walls and fences again, and one can only wonder how the effects of those barriers would change our future. 21 years ago, I left Germany with my husband and older son. We started out near Boston and made our way to San Diego 10 years later with now 2 sons. Life was really great. You could say it was quintessentially so. You could say I was living the dream at this point in time, but dreams have a way of ending with a rude awakening. 6 years ago, almost to this day, my rude awakening came. I suddenly found myself with 2 sons, one a senior at UCSD, one just finishing 8th grade, no husband, no degree, no job, no noteworthy career to fall back on, and an excruciating divorce that would last for the next 4 years. During that same time period, my mother passed away, joining my father, who I had lost at 19. To say that these were very trying times for my children and I would be an understatement. However, my experiences in 80s Germany taught me that nothing gets changed without proactivity. I knew something needed to be done. 6 months later, I enrolled at Muir College. 3 years later, I got accepted into UCSD and John Muir College. We're embarked on a most amazing voyage. You may have gathered from my references to my 1980s experiences, my college-age children, or perhaps my cool mom demeanor, that I'm not quite the same age as most of you. I distinctly recall going to the John Muir transfer orientation with all the young students and feeling so out of place. We were then taken to Leaden Auditorium, where they told us not to get too stressed out if our grades would drop by 1 or 2 letter grades, as the transition to a quota system is really difficult. By the end of that event, I felt completely overwhelmed. And I could tell from the faces of some of my peers that they were experiencing the same. The classroom dynamic was entirely unfamiliar. I hadn't really been in a setting like this for 30+ years, and in a different language, and classes were more challenging than I had ever experienced. There were plenty of time when I felt pushed far outside my comfort zone, and I'm certain some of you might have had the same feelings. And classes weren't the only challenge. UCSD is a very big campus, and one needs a good sense of direction to find their way around. One afternoon, during my first quarter, I was making my way back to my car after class. Sporting a really heavy backpack, I thought I had spotted a shortcut to the parking garage. It looked like that structure was just across that wooded area by the soccer field. Well, that shortcut turned into a 1-hour, 10-minute involuntary forest expedition from which I emerged at the exact same point I had gone in. I did hit 15,000 steps on my Fitbit. There were a number of occasions during my time here at UCSD where doubts crept up in my mind, and I fought through them with the knowledge that my children believed in me, and I could not bear the thought of disappointing them. I kept going, and so did all of you. We all have our burdens to carry, and some of you had it a lot worse than I. But I hope you will join me in the conviction that being here today and graduating from this amazing university has made our struggles and sacrifices worth it. Every professor I had the honor to be taught by really did care, and not because they were paid for it, but because they believed in me. And a big shout out to my Muir friends. You have accepted me as one of your own, regardless of my age, probably thanks to my cool mom demeanor. You have been incredibly kind, equally accommodating, and exceptional team members. All that said, I would not be standing in front of you today if it weren't for my two sons, Christoph and Max, who tirelessly cheered me on and believed in me. When well-meaning friends and colleagues told me that it was a really bad idea to quit working, drain my savings, and get a bachelor's degree at my age, my sons told me not to listen, but to pursue my dream. My journey to this point has been anything but easy, but here I am before you nonetheless. As Winston Churchill so famously put it, if you're going through hell, keep going. I'm not done yet. Thank you. Today, I'm a very different person than I was when I started at UCSD, and I am most grateful for that. Today, I am a mother. I'm an immigrant. I'm a summa cum laude graduate of John Muir College. And the sky is my only limit. Before I leave you today, I would like to encourage you to recognize what kind of world empowers someone like me to reach this position. It is not one of walls and fences. It is one of empathy, of courage, and of acceptance. Thank you for showing me these values every day during my time here. And remember to lead with them as you go out in the world to follow your next step. Thank you. Congratulations, class of 2018. Thank you.
Let's give up for Liliane again. So, I can't imagine going back to school, honestly. It's much more challenging for you than it was for me. Let me find where I am in the script.